Exxon Valdez oil spill. How did the Exxon Valdez oil spill occur? Exxon Valdez, a ship with 53 million gallons of crude oil, left the night of March 23, 1989. The Exxon Valdez ship hit Blight Reef, which is known as a hazard in the Gulf of Alaska. The hit made the ship's hull open, which caused 11 million gallons to spill into the ocean. It was a man-made disaster that occurred March 24, 1989. At the time, it was the worst oil spill in history. How bad was the Exxon Valdez oil spill? The oil could not be contained, and the oil spread and covered about 1,300 miles of coastline. To put into perspective, this is more than 11 million gallons of gooey black oil poured into the sea, enough to fill about 14 Olympic-sized swimming pools. In addition, the spill is equivalent of a spill in New York Harbor reaching to South Carolina. This spill is one of the worst as it affected so many wildlife. Despite all the measures taken to clean up the spill, the oil was still persistent. Environmental effects. Before the spill, the Prince William Sound was a clean, pure environment. After the spill, that changed drastically. The spill killed an estimated 250,000 seabirds, 3,000 otters, 300 seals, 250 bald eagles, and 22 killer whales, according to History.com. The spill also killed about 1.9 million pink salmon, almost 13 billion Pacific herring. The oil killed the unborn baby salmon, greatly reducing the population for future pink salmon. That was retrieved from Markle, page 11. The pink salmon population was deeply affected because of this. In addition, the spill killed 40% of the sea otter population. Sea otters who swim in the ocean had to breathe the contaminated waters. The sea otter population didn't recover until 2014, and the fish herring, which was once abundant, never came back. Many birds also died in the oil spill. The birds tried to clean themselves when they were covered in oil, and when they tried to clean their feathers, they were poisoned by the toxic oil. Many animals died this way because they swallowed the oil. They were volunteers that cleaned animals, but during the cleaning process, many animals died because the cleaning was too stressful for them. Economic effects. The reduction of fish populations also affected the people in surrounding communities where the spill took place. Some reports estimated the total economic loss from the Exxon Valdez oil spill to be as much as $2.8 billion. This is according to History.com. Because of the spill, everyone was afraid to eat anything that came from the sound. From Markle, page 16. Cleaning the mess has taken many years and cost billions of dollars. What measures were taken? After the spill, SERVS, which is a ship escort and response vessel, was especially equipped to handle cleanup operation. Retrieved from Markle, page 21. This vessel was made to help clean up efforts in case of a future oil spill. There were also other efforts made to clean up the oil, such as burning of the oil because it reduced the amount of oil in the water. In addition to these methods, chemical dispersants were used to try and clean it up. Regardless, none of these methods could clean up the damage caused. Organizations. The Spill Control Association of America is an organization that promotes the interests of spill response communities. The organization represents all types of people working in the industry. The SCAA promotes a healthy and vibrant all-hazard responses posture from the sharing of best management practices in healthy and safety programs, workforce development initiatives, and by taking a proactive advocacy role with governmental entities. The Association of Petroleum Industry Co-op Managers, also known as APICOM, meets to exchange information and best practice related to global oil spill response and includes support through mutual aid agreements. This association has a partnership with the U.S. Coast Guard and serves as an advisory board for development of standards regulations, and policies related to global oil spill responses. The International Spill Control Organization, ISO, raises worldwide preparedness and awareness. It focuses on the response to oil and chemical spills, promotes technical development and professional competency, and provides a focus for making the knowledge and experience of spills control. Lastly, we have the UK Spill Association. The UK Spill Association targets uniform standards for spill response. Its members organize and participate in events, exhibitions, and conferences for the spill and oil industry to promote awareness. Current policies. The first policy in place right now is the Department of the Interior. The DOI is made up of scientists that are there to protect our nation's natural resources. They are the ones who would oversee that wildlife is being protected in case of a spill. Another policy is the Federal Water Pollution Control Act. They make sure that the water isn't polluted. They are in charge of restoring our water quality if a spill occurs. Another policy is the Oil Pollution Act of 1990. The Oil Pollution Act of 1990 was signed after the Exxon Valdez oil spill occurred. It was signed by President George H.W. Bush. The Oil Spill Act of 1990 was passed to prevent future spills. There was also a new and improved contingency plan in case of future spills. Now ships were required to have a double hull, penalties to companies responsible for spills, and requirements for licenses. Also, oil facilities had to report their plans to the government on how the response would be in case of an oil spill. The Exxon Valdez ship was a single hull, and it is said that a double hull design would have made it less likely that a collision would have spilled oil, and it could have been prevented. This was retrieved from history.com. Another policy is the National Oil and Hazardous Substances Pollution Contingency Plan, known as NCP. They are prepared with responding to oil spills. They make sure things run smoothly and have contingency plans in place in case of a spill. What now? Even after all these years, there is still some oil in some places. The CEO of the Exxon Oil Company predicted that there would be nothing to evidence a disaster. That is an image of before and how it is now. Although the spill was not just a big spill, the spill took place in a remote location that was not easily accessible. Even 2 decades later, the Prince William Sound area still has not fully recovered. They were wrong because even after all these years, the effects of the oil spill still remain. The oil spill triggered a critical period of reform that led to major realignment in marine oil pollution policy at the national level. That was retrieved from Bussenberg, page 84. Although after the oil spill there were things made to clean it up, the region still has yet to fully recover. Oil spills are a major threat to our environment and our safety. We need to keep our environment clean and protected. These are the sources I used for this PowerPoint. Thank you.